Hello everyone, I'm Karin Caro and welcome to the Daily Blue. I'm very excited to have a very special guest here today. Her name is Sandy Romano. Thank you for joining us today. We're here to discuss a really important organization that not too many people have heard of, but you are affecting a lot of children's lives on Long Island, bringing smiles to people's faces, children's faces in the form of art, and that is Splashes of Hope. Thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
You are a volunteer with Splashes of Hope for about 9 years. So tell us a little bit about what Splashes of Hope is.
Well, we're a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to paint murals in hospitals and other healthcare-related facilities. And by doing this, we brighten the environment, we promote healing, and bring a smile, hopefully, to a lot of people's faces. And we just do this through art.
It's beautiful. It's not just children, then?
No, we've done it in nursing homes, orphanages, hospitals, equestrian centers for disabled adults. You name it, we've been there.
Wow. Now, the facility or the organization doesn't have to pay anything for you guys to come in and paint the mural? Or is there a fee that the organization has to provide for you guys to come
Well,
in?
being that we are a nonprofit, each project that we do is funded.
Wow.
And we're funded by in different ways, you know. But
okay, so how can people get involved and help to fund Splashes of Hope?
Visit our website, splashesofhope.org, and it will talk you through the process and show you what you can do to be a volunteer or a donor.
Okay. Do you have to be an artist to be a volunteer?
You absolutely do not have to be an artist to volunteer. In fact, many of our volunteers are not artists. And, you know, we will have people come to the castle, that's where our studio is based, and help us with things such as varnishing a painting that's been done, priming panels, organizing paints, making palettes for us, stuffing envelopes. There's a ton of activities that volunteers can do. Oh, yes.
Not just painting. Now, Sandy, as I know it, and we've discussed a little bit before the show, you don't really have an art background, so...
No, I don't.
But you're painting murals.
I'm painting murals.
That must give you such a tremendous sense of pride.
It does, it does. You know, I was an elementary school teacher for 34 years, and art was always very important to me. I don't have an art background, but I always had a feel for art and an ability to do certain things.
And you worked with children.
I worked with children, which is very important to me.
Right. So tell us, 9 years ago, you decided to get involved in something. How did Splashes of Hope come to you? It was originally started by this woman, Heather Bouget, back in 1996, correct?
Yes.
And how did you hear about it, and what attracted you to it?
Well, as a teacher, I always felt this is a very, it sounds silly, but a very noble profession. You're doing something that's worthwhile, that matters, and that makes a difference in the world. And when I retired, or as I was getting ready to retire, I knew that I couldn't just do nothing. I had to continue to be involved with children. My last few years of teaching, I also discovered suddenly that I could paint. And I started painting in my free time after school, all around my school.
Right.
And so somehow or other I heard about Splashes of Hope, and I met with them and begged them to take me in.
Is there an approval process or something?
No, not really.
You just banged on their door and said, please take me. But obviously they're making impact, and you want to change lives.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
maybe
wonderful.
Not, you know, just 1 minute at a time or one step at a time. Do something that matters in the world. Something that makes a difference, if not to 1 million people, maybe it makes a difference to one child.
For even 1 second. For even 1 second, that could change.
Absolutely.
A smile is just a beautiful thing. Change an entire life, an entire day.
Yeah.
Now, as I understand it, it's not just murals that Splashes of Hope provides. What else do they do?
Well, I'm involved in a weekly hand and face painting program over at the Pediatric Oncology Clinic at Stony Brook University.
Wow.
And I've been doing that for, I guess it's about 6 years now. And I go in 1 day a week and paint the children that are there waiting treatment or chemo or whatever else they have to undergo at the time. And it's a distraction for them. It's something that brings them a smile. They go in sometimes looking so sad, and you know, all of a sudden they're able to have a butterfly painted across their face. And you know, we came across this idea of bringing face painting into the hospitals in, I believe it was in a hospital in Texas, and we were painting in the lobby and doing our murals, and one of the nurses said, and then at the last day we started face painting some of the patients. We brought our paints with us, and one of the nurses said, you know, there's a little girl in the back, she's about to undergo chemo, she can't come out to the lobby, would you be able to come in and do her? And sure, and I gathered up my paints and went into the back, and this little girl was sitting in a chair, and she had her arms like this, and on this arm she wanted her name painted with flowers all over her name, and I'm doing this, and in this arm the doctor's inserting a needle to begin her chemo treatment.
Wow.
Now she wasn't looking at this arm.
No.
She was looking at this arm.
That's beautiful.
And with that little germ of an idea there, Heather said, you know, why don't we bring this back to Long Island? Why don't we start visiting the hospitals? In Stony Brook University, the clinic there took us in.
That's a beautiful story. I see our producer Desiree is getting tears in her eyes, and that's just, that is a beautiful story. And having 4 children myself, one of them was in the hospital for a significant amount of time, and on that children's floor at Stony Brook University, I was able to see stuff that I hope that I never have to encounter, and I really, my heart goes out to the families that do have to deal with that. So I would love to get involved in this a little bit more and help you guys in any way that I can.
We would love to have you.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
I would like to ask you a little bit more about Heather.
Sure.
How did Heather get involved in it? Do you know the story of this incredible woman? And we'd love to have her here, by the way. Please.
Well, Heather was an art student, and her and her friend unfortunately developed Hodgkin's disease, and he was hospitalized, and she would spend a lot of time in the hospital with him, and together as art students they were looking around at this drab room, you know, blank ceiling tiles, blank walls, and thought, this is not conducive to the healing that has to go on in a hospital. And that's when they decided, well, you know, let's, when you get out of here, let's do something about this. Let's start painting. Let's make a difference with our art, with our talent. And unfortunately, her friend didn't make it, and he passed away, but Heather kept that dream alive. And she began on her own just painting ceiling tiles. I think Blythedale Hospital was the first one that she started doing this for, and started donating them, and then started painting some murals. And I believe she told me the story that she was driving down the expressway one day, and she heard a radio program that was talking about nonprofit organizations. And this one person decided right then and there, I'm going to start a nonprofit organization. And hence Splashes of Hope was born, and all due to her.
That is a really great story. Heather, when you watch this, we'd love for you to come on the Daily Blue anytime. And of course, the Blue Chippers, I know that they all would love to get involved in this. I have one more question for you.
Sure.
Okay. So Sandy, you said something to me prior to the show about splash it forward. And I loved that you said that. Tell us a little bit about your theory of splash it forward.
Well, when I started painting at the hospitals, it was strictly volunteer. And then the Lawrence Levine Foundation, which donates so much money to our cause and sponsors many hospitals, the Lawrence Levine Foundation decided that they were going to make this a permanent thing, and they wanted to make sure somebody was in that hospital every week. And they said, well, we're going to give you a stipend for doing this. And at that point I said, well, I really don't need a stipend to do this, I'll do it anyway. And they said, no, we want to make this official. And you know, so what I do every year is I take my profits from face painting at the hospital and I splash it forward, and in that way I've been able to sponsor a project every year through that.
I love that, because the organization obviously has needs for supplies or to keep volunteers going and keep it alive.
Yeah, we have many companies that donate to our cause. Sherwin-Williams supplies paint for us.
That's wonderful.
corporations, companies, foundations, individuals, Rotary clubs, service organizations,
Sure.
and just individuals showing up. Very soon we're going to be reinitiating a program at our studios where it's going to be a volunteer day on Saturdays,
Okay.
where people can come, and you do not have to be an artist, excuse me. They can come and help us do whatever needs to be done.
That's wonderful. When will that be happening?
It will be posted on our website.
Okay.
I believe they're going to be starting it, if not December, definitely by January.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you ever have kids get involved in painting or helping other children?
You know, we do. When we're painting on site, very frequently we'll have a mother wheel down their child in a wheelchair, and they'll spend an hour or so just watching us paint. And oftentimes we'll give them the paintbrush and say, well, you know, well, come on over here. You can help us
Sure.
paint this part over here. And,
Sure.
and they will. And sometimes they'll say, well, you know, I have a little dog. You know, could you paint my dog in the mural? And we will paint the dog in the mural.
That's wonderful.
I have a little boy over at Stony Brook who, when I paint him, he wants me to do the beginning of the painting, and then I give him the brush, and he fills in all the colors for me.
Oh, I love it. Like paint by number. That's really sweet.
His quote, and I've passed this on to many people, he was going a little bit outside of the lines, which does not matter. Really,
Right.
truly, it does not matter. And somebody said something to him about that, and this little boy, only this tall, looked at them and said, well, art is not perfect.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And neither are any of us, certainly.
This is very true.
But that's a beautiful thing. I meant, though, Sandy, about getting regular, just ordinary kids in the schools to participate in helping some of the children. I think that that would be something that I would love to facilitate or help you with, the Girl Scouts involved in the Boy Scouts. And
yeah, we have had Girl Scout and Boy Scout groups be involved in things that we were doing. And Volunteer Day, especially, we'll have a whole troop come and help us stuff envelopes, put our monkey puppets.
Sure.
We do have a coloring book that we have developed that we give out to children that are hospitalized with a monkey puppet.
Oh, that's great.
And this is our mascot. This is Vincent Van Monkey.
That is
who comes with a coloring book and a little box of crayons, and we give this out to children at the hospitals.
Oh my gosh, Sandy, that is so adorable. That is so cute. That's got to brighten some days.
I hope so, right, Vincent? Yes.
That's so cute. I love it. Sandy, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. It's a wonderful story and certainly a wonderful organization. We look forward to seeing and hearing more from you. If anybody would like information, please go to splashesofhope.org. Is there a phone number that we can reach you at?
I believe it is 424-8230.
Okay, well, either way, please visit splashesofhope.org. Get involved and get your kids involved, and you're questioning that phone number. And don't call that number. But really, you're doing wonderful things, and thank you, Heather, for starting the organization. We hope to see you here back at the Daily Blue, and please tune in to the shows live all day on thedailyblue.com. I'm Karin Caro, sitting here with this wonderful volunteer, Sandy Romano. Thank you so much, Sandy, for joining us. Have a wonderful day, everyone.